YouTube, welcome to another episode of the Side Hustle of the Day show. It is episode 12. This is the second Friday, meaning we've been doing this for right around 2 weeks, and I appreciate the viewers that are starting to trickle in. Every day I refresh the YouTube Creator Studio to look at likes and views and watch time, and it's really cool to see. So with that said, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification. Before we get into today's side hustle, this has been Drivers Week, right? And the thumbnail and the title isn't clickbaity. This is another one of those podcasts like last week and ones that I'll be doing a lot more in the future where I'm highlighting a specific side hustle by a specific person and how they did it. So Turo, I've personally never watched any people who have used Turo reviews on YouTube. So this is something that maybe you or I could go look later and see people that have had good experiences and bad experiences. But I'm going to talk about a particularly good experience here with Tasir Hassan, who was an individual in California, which this isn't available everywhere. I thought it was something you can use anywhere. I think this is only available in certain major cities. But it's an interesting story because he started renting out his own car, right? And this is we can call him a serial entrepreneur. He has several side hustles, just like most people that are probably watching this channel have as well. Several side hustles, several ideas, and several things that are actually generating from a few dollars to tons of money. So Tasir started renting out his own car, right? And it was being rented out, I think, almost the entire month, like 20-something days out of the month. So an idea sparked in his head. He decided to take that a bit further and start leasing cars and then renting them out on Turo. So he took the approach of getting a half a dozen of the cheapest cars he could get, which he found a really interesting promotion through GM, where he got half a dozen Chevy Cruzes for $18 a month lease and was flipping them for $35 a day on Turo. Again, shout out Side Hustle School podcast, one of my favorite shows. And then what he did was get a few more cars that were on the upper scale. So he avoided the middle, basically. No average kind of car rental buyers in mind. It's the people that are going to want the cheapest absolute car and the people that want like a really cool sports car, a luxury car at the top, which is actually a concept out of Expert Secrets, funny enough, where Russell Brunson talks about how there's no strategic advantage to being it's been a while since I read it. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. I need to reread it again. But this is one of those elements that you don't forget. There's no strategic advantage to being the second least expensive in your market, in your field. But there's a strategic advantage to being the most expensive or the very least expensive. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't, link below to get the free copy of Expert Secrets. So he knew that he didn't want to work in the middle. And from there started building his fleet of cars up to, I believe, 16 cars. And makes now about between $4,000 and $5,000 a month off of this fleet of cars. The craziest part that got me was just from the jump where he had the idea to just let me test the waters with my car. Which, keep in mind, if you've never looked into Turo, you have as a user on there $1 million policy for insurance and protection. So look into that. There's a link to Turo in the description too. So my fascination was taking the cruise. Like, first of all, how do you find a cruise lease, right? That makes you think, I need to do more research on leases and fleet options if I'm looking for something like that, which isn't a bad car. Like, I'm pretty sure they still make them. But if not, maybe they've been discontinued for a year or two. But for a long time, the cruise was a good seller for GM, right? So to find that they're running a promotion where he gets half a dozen of them for $18 a month, that makes me want to just look more into that opportunity itself. And then having the wherewithal to just flip it all into Turo and lease them and he tested the prices. Initially, a bunch of cheap prices, like low prices to get reviews and to get good ratings on Turo and start using tags and keywords to rank, and then slowly start upping the price. And $35 a day, he's in Los Angeles, keep in mind. So in town, out of town, needs them for a few days, needs them for the week, maybe they're on a business trip, and then makes, $35 a day. I think it was $10.50. It's like $1,050 or $1,100 a month just on those cruise leases, and it's $18 a month per car. What? So from there, obviously flips it into these other cars, these luxury cars, and now makes about $5,000 a month on the side hustle. And all he has to do is really just manage the people that he's interacting with on email and via the app. He did take it one step further and found a partner at an airport in LA where they would manage a lot of the returns because a lot of people were coming in, to LAX or to wherever. And want a car, and he partnered up with them, and they worked out the logistics to that. But even before you get to that scaled, portion of this business, it's an interesting thing to think about. I'm a car guy. I'm a car enthusiast. I don't know that I would necessarily want to rent out my car unless I knew that I didn't care if anything happened to it. But if I had sentimental value to, for say, one car, two cars that I had, probably wouldn't rent them out. But to take it to the idea that he did, and maybe look into leasing, and don't go screwing up your credit, don't go messing anything up to try to make this happen. But if you have the ability to try it, test the waters with a car that you can acquire, either buy it cheaply or you go and you lease a new car and you want to try the Turo thing. I think it's an interesting concept. It's actually, or it's rather really not going to go anywhere. As you can see, this sharing type of economy that we're in, people are looking for ways to get around having to purchase things themselves or be responsible for something themselves. They rather just kind of lease it, rent it, return it, forget it, and that's kind of where we are. So that's today's side hustle. I thought it was super fascinating. I want to find an $18 lease to then flip for $1,000 a month. And if I do that, I'll come back with a review of my own on Turo or some other ride-sharing type of service. And we're done for the week, guys. I may come back tomorrow with another video, but as you know, Monday through Friday is a for sure. Weekends are a very huge maybe, question mark, hashtag busy, family, and such. And I'll be out of town for some future projects, which maybe I'll talk about on this channel on one of the weekday videos, but probably a weekend video in the future. So drop a like, give me a subscribe. That was the like, and hit subscribe. Visit Side Hustle of the Day and leave me your email, sidehustleoftheday.com, and leave me your email. Let's start interacting on there. Get some challenges going here in the future months as we're crossing the halfway point of 2019, which is crazy to think. And remember that a goal without a plan is just a wish, and we want to plan for the end of this year. We want to plan for the next 6 months. We want to plan for going into 2020 with a better situation and a better financial state that you might be in, or even if you're already in a good one and you just want to improve it or make it better or get more, that's cool too, man. Stack your racks, make your paper. See you on Monday, or maybe see you tomorrow. Who knows? Have a good day.